Hello, this is Airbnb in San Francisco, California. We are at the beginning of April 2020, and another week of shelter in place and adapting to a new way of life has passed. And I like to extend my best thoughts to all my friends across the globe. I'm thinking of them, and I hope that they are well. And I'd like to talk about our situation here in San Francisco Bay Area, about our economy, which is one of the most relevant in the world, and last but not least, about our real estate market. So we have, of course, bad news, but we also have some good news. By now, we are already familiar with the number of unemployment numbers, which are over 6 million. It doesn't look very pretty, but it's to be expected. We know from different sources that the cost of this pandemic is over $4 trillion, and that represents 5% of global GDP. If you stop and think about 5%, it's not, doesn't sound like a lot, but the consequences will be felt across the globe. On the other hand, I think that living in Bay Area, we have so many revolutionary, innovative life science, biotechnology, and pharmaceutical companies. We also have very groundbreaking high-tech companies, and even hedge funds, financial institutions that I think that the entire world is looking at us with hope to be part of this solution. The solution in combating and finding a cure for the COVID-19 on one hand, and then solutions for a rapid economic recovery on the other hand. So on the scientific front, few news, I assembled a few news from different sources, from San Francisco Business Times, from Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, and so on. But locally here, which is not very locally since we are a globally relevant economy and part of the world here in San Francisco, what's happening? I can tell you that a group of scientists and doctors, they found a solution to convert sleep apnea machines into ventilators. That's something that, of course, might require the government help. Usually this is not something done easily, requires FDA approval. So they need that, and they need the sleep apnea machines themselves. This is called the group COVID-19 Ventilators Rapid Response Team. As I mentioned, it's a group of engineers from UC Berkeley and doctors from UCSF. And hopefully this will be possible because the California governor, Gavin Newsom, mentioned in a statement that California needs over 10,000 ventilators, and that would be an understatement. So this is one very hopeful news. Another one, there is another company that has an idea mostly on preventing the spread of the virus by detecting the outside body temperature through an infrared camera. So it's a AI fever monitoring tool invented by this company that's called Cognies. It's based here in the Bay Area in Mill Valley. And what does it do? With an infrared camera, will measure the outside body temperature by reading the eyes. It might not be as accurate as internal temperature measurement, but it's very hopeful. I understand that they already sold 12 cameras, and the camera and the AI security package, it's under $10,000 per year. That would be good for big companies, and especially when people will start to go back to work and restart the face-to-face activities, in-person activities. That will help preventing spreading the virus, because if somebody has a high temperature, could be recommended to be tested for COVID-19 and so on. And I think that might be a very good tool in the future. So those are the good news that give us hope. What else? I just read today in the Wall Street Journal that one of the San Francisco-based funds, it's a company that's called Valiant Capital Management, boosted its bets against the stock indexes as it became more concerned about the spread of the coronavirus back in January, and it was up by 36% by the end of March for the year before fees. That's amazing, considering that it was a drop of almost 20% in SP 500 and more than 21% decline in the MSCI All World Index. And this is the broad global index measuring performance of stocks all around the globe. So there is hope, and there will be no doubt companies that they will make money amid crisis if they place their bets right? What else? What's happening? Well, we are a very touristy and big convention city, obviously. And not only that, but we are the headquarters here of companies such as Airbnb, which revolutionized the tourism, right? The tourism industry and the tourism as we know it. Unfortunately, the bookings are down to almost 90% in most of the countries and most of the areas where they operate. And they just announced a lower internal valuation to 26 billion, and this is a decrease of 16% comparing with the most recent funding round. But that's to be expected, of course, and we don't know yet how many employees will be laid off from Airbnb and other similar companies in the Bay Area. However, Airbnb decided to compensate the Airbnb hosts with $250 million, which pretty much represent the value of canceled reservations. So this is what they could do for the hosts. It's a good thing. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully people will visit again. They will be more confident, and the tourism industry will take off. And not to mention that, of course, most of the hotels in San Francisco are closed down and suffering a great deal, as do our restaurants. So that is, not very good news. What else is happening? What else is happening is that we do have, of course, a great wine industry here in the Bay Area, and this has been hit by this pandemic as well. There are consequences, and obviously there are less orders from restaurants, and there are no tourists right now. So what's happening is that they had to reinvent the way they do business as well. So now they are online and virtual tastings, when you can be on chat rooms with sommelier and taste the same wine at the same time. And there are great deals at certain expensive wines and free shipping and so on. So they are learning how to do business in a different way, as well as we do, all of us. regarding this paycheck protection program offered for small businesses. Of course, government needs the help of the big banks to do that. One of the bank who started the program is Bank of America, and I know until noon as of April 3rd, they had 58,000 application for to get cash, and I know that the applications were in the value of 6 billion and 504 million only in San Francisco and East Bay, which is the Oakland area. So we'll see how this goes. They feel, of course, overwhelmed. It's a big number of applications, and that happened suddenly. And I'm not sure if Bank of America will need more employees in order to process this applications. On the other hand, Wells Fargo is not receiving applications yet. They had an announcement on their website for small businesses to check back with the bank. The reason is that they are not accepting applications yet amid mounting concerns that an asset cap placed on the bank by regulators will sharply limit its ability to distribute the stimulus money. So it seems like Wells Fargo is caught between Treasury and the Fed, but eventually, since they are known as a bank who works with a lot of small businesses, they will probably be involved in distributing this funds through the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program. So these are the other economic news, and now going to the real estate market, because remember, I'm a realtor in San Francisco and I'm a global real estate advisor. I can tell you that, of course, we've been having the shelter in place order since March 17. It's going to be extended until the end of April. The number of listings in the Bay Area and in San Francisco is down quite a bit, by more than 60%. We did move our activity online. We did everything virtually almost. No open houses, no meeting in person. But of course, this has consequences. It's spring. There will be more listings on the market. I know that we have listings at Compass, who I'm associated with here in San Francisco. But of course, our activity has slowed down comparing with last year in the spring, when we traditionally have a lot of inventory on the market before the summer vacation. However, this might be a very good opportunity for some buyers and even for some sellers, but we are mostly here for them to advise for what is right for everybody in each situation. According to some websites, Zamper and even Rent Cafe, that will be a very good situation it might be a good opportunity for renters because the landlords might be more willing to negotiate. Keep in mind that the average rent in San Francisco, it's still around $3,600 per month. The national rent, it's $1,474 per month. So they're still quite high, but they anticipate probably decreases by 5% or so. But that's we'll have to see how the real estate market unfolds in the next few months here in San Francisco Bay Area. This is it for right now. I hope I will be able to update you soon. with the news about our economy, our progress, how we cope in the situation. I wish you all to be safe and healthy, and I will see you soon.